8 seasons of this crap! Ah, for Christ's sake.
Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the VMX show. This is season 8 and it's episode, give me a second here. What episode? 3, 4? Oh, 5. Wow. Alright, we're getting along there. Okay, so you're going to have to forgive me. This is going to be kind of a shorter one, as much as I can make it. I have a lot of content to get through, but I'm not going to do the news this week. And the reasons, there's more than one. One is that I want to watch the Super Bowl, and the other is I got a little bit of a headache, migraine thing going on. It's not actually painful, but I do have ringing in my ears right now, and it's been going on for a while. It's a stress thing. It's not that big of a deal, but I just wanted to put that out there as to why I'm going to kind of just do the Q&A, the guest segment, and the sales charts and leave it at that. So, let's do the Q&A, because I did get a lot, and I do mean a lot of comments last time. Let's see. Alright, let's bring that up. Why does it keep bringing up clearing confusion? I keep hitting the thing that says VMX show season 8, episode 3. Oh, see, okay, so this is episode 4. I was looking at clearing confusion. Alright, never mind. So this is episode 4. Never mind 5. What the hell's wrong with me? Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, let's get this going. I got a bunch of questions and comments to get through. So let's see. Poof Nisse says something in some other fucking language. Why do you do this to me? You're gonna make me translate this? Alright, I'll do it. I'll do it. It's really annoying, but I'll do it. So he said to me, and I assume Swedish, it's a bit of fun that you have to take help Google overseeing... Fuck you, man. Oh, it's funny that you have to Google me, what I'm saying. You know what? Don't do that again, alright? Alex Shannon said, so if the world came to an end in a few days, what would you want to do? What game would you play, movie would you watch, or activity would you partake in? You'd probably spend it playing some games, going about my business as usual, would probably even end it watching some of your videos. Well, thank you for that. If the world was going to end, I really don't know that I'd be playing any games or, like, watching any movies. As for activity, the activity would probably be sex and lots of it. He also says, oh man, 331 E-Rock is one of my favorite YouTubers. I gotta buy Kodal now. Hell, I'll probably LP it on my other channel. Well, I look forward to seeing that. He did 2 songs for the game. He did Boss Battle, and the other one's also Boss Battle, but he remade one of the Boss Battle themes from the first game, which was the Dark Mistresses, that song that everybody likes a lot, and he also did his own original Boss Battle music. The amazing Ronnie Alley says, I hate this Google Plus shit, okay? I really do. Because this person's YouTube name, they don't even have a YouTube name, okay? They don't even have a YouTube name. They just have a Google Plus name. And the amazing Ronnie Alley? Really? Alright, whatever, man. He says, hey, Necro, great show as per the norm. Anyway, I have a question for you. Why do people think about things about Minecraft that aren't true, like it being bigger than Daggerfall, having an infinite map, or being an 8-bit game? Knowing what bits means, I find this one silly, although they're talking about the graphics, but even that's off. Anyway, yeah, I agree. Waffles and pancakes are both awesome, and mood can swing. Which one is better at the moment? I feel like waffles. Alright. As for the Minecraft thing, I honestly do not care at all about anything to do with Minecraft. I don't care. Any game that's popular, they're going to be rumors, people are going to say things that aren't true, the people are going to believe those things, but I just don't care. As for the 8-bit thing, I mean, it's because of the big chunky graphics. That's what it is. Somebody will say, oh, it's sort of like an 8-bit style thing, and then, you know, people take it from there. It's the game of telephone. Insane Wayne 253 says, first of all, congrats on buying East Origin. That was an entertaining video. Any plans for a playthrough at some point in the future? Also, what is your biggest rage quit moment? I haven't had any rage quit moments. I got through Unica's story pretty well. I'm enjoying playing as Hugo. And it's not really a hard game. As for playthrough, yeah, in the future. I plan on doing the East games in the future. I wouldn't start with that one, but yeah. Let's see. Slayer Dart said, "Hey, Necro, great episode. Some more questions." I gotta hit the expand thing. 7 numbered questions. Number 1, I have started playing Codal Episode 2 demo, and I've noticed the save function is disabled. Why? The save function is not disabled. I don't know why you would think that. Really, that's very strange. I mean, you can pretty much save at just about any point, too, so I don't know why you would think this. Nobody's had that problem. Number 2, have you ever thought about going all Daniel Day-Lewis and inhabiting Magus' Lee's persona? Well, according to Tanya, I'm already halfway there, so. Number 3, what sources of information do you trust the most in relation to current affairs? I pretty much just, like, kind of pick and choose what I believe. You know, the media is all very biased. I pretty much just try and look at the facts as much as I can. Number 4, what is the worst nightmare you've ever experienced? Well, you see, I don't have really like bad dreams in the traditional sense of something really scary happening. I tend to have more like very weird dreams instead, but everybody has nightmares at one point or another, and usually that happens when you're deprived of sleep. And then I actually, if I'm very deprived of sleep, I kind of expect to have a nightmare. And there's a mechanism behind that is sort of like, in a sense, a dream is like your brain taking out the trash in a sense. And if you don't sleep, your trash builds up, and you're going to have a very intense dream. That's what a nightmare is. I think that one time about 10, 15 years ago, I had a dream where I was in bed, and my house was sinking into the ground, and I started freaking out, and I do have the occasional tendency to sleepwalk, and I wound up waking up in a completely different room, freaking out, you know, thinking that the house was sinking into the ground. And then I realized that it was a dream, and I stopped freaking out, and there you go. So I hope that answers your question satisfactorily. Okay, number 5 says, do you live beyond your means? Well, no, I don't. Number 6, have you ever read any books written in the past that you think have been spot on about the future, such as 1984 or George Orwell? Yeah, I don't know if I want to say it, but yeah, I have. Number 7, I'll say it, what the hell, who gives a shit? I would say that, actually Atlas Shrugged, I think, was very prescient, and I think we're kind of experiencing something similar, not as exaggerated, but we're kind of headed in that direction. All right, number 7. I remember a documentary made in the last decade in the UK by Richard Dawkins, which looked at forcing religion onto children from an early age. Personally, I feel that people are limited as characters if they have either limited experiences or limited understandings. Do you feel the responsibility for raising children's awareness of the wider world lies with the parents, the government, or society as a whole? The parents. Absolutely. Government actually should stay the fuck out of that kind of thing. And society as a whole is sort of a vague notion that doesn't really mean anything. So it would have to be the parents. So moving on, here we have Insane Wayne 253 again. He says, proud new PlayStation 4 owner here. With the PlayStation 4 being very indie game friendly, any chance we may see Codal port, or is it a if I told you I'd have to kill you thing? No. I'm going to read the rest of your comment in a moment, but we are planning on, we can't port Codal to any of the consoles, including PlayStation 4. The reason is because the engine we used doesn't work with that sort of architecture. But after episode 2 is finished, we're going to work on sort of like the HD version of the game that is going to be made for consoles, and we are looking at Sony and Nintendo in particular Xbox, yes, in the future, but there's issues with Xbox right now, partially because they're not as indie friendly as they once were, and partially because if you publish to Xbox Live, they want you to be exclusive to them for a certain amount of time, and we do want to be on a wide array of consoles. Sony, we're talking PlayStation 4, PlayStation 3, maybe, and Vita. Nintendo really talking about the 3DS. We do want to do that. It's coming down the pipeline, but right now we're just focusing on episode 2. All right, he says, I have friends and friends of friends who look for classic-style RPG, and Kotal is the first thing I'll mention. Big props, kind sir. Well, mention the PC version. Get them excited about it. Let's see, The Amazing Ronnie Alley again. Could you guys try to make just one comment? Like I know you think, oh, I just thought of something else, but try to get everything together. It's confusing to keep jumping back. Because I see The Amazing Ronnie Alley, and then the next person's Slayer Darth, but alright. Amazing Ronnie Alley says, I want to ask what 3DS games you'd recommend, including the Virtual Console and eShop. I don't know. What kind of games do you like? I mean, if you're asking me for recommendations, I don't know what you like. I'm going to recommend something, and you're like, that game sucked. Alright, Slayer Darth. Continued. Number 8. If your house got flooded and your collections of video games were lost forever, what would you do? I don't know. File an insurance claim. What would you do? That's like saying, Slayer Darth, if Mr. T came up and punched you in the junk several dozen times, what would you do? It's like, weird question. Number 9, if you could take evening classes in a subject of your choice, what would the subject be? I would not be taking evening classes on any subject because I'm busy in the evenings. And number 10, what is the most upmarket restaurant you've ever been to? Several. It would probably be either, and I don't know if this place is still around because this was a while ago, Iso, which was a sushi restaurant in Manhattan, or it would be a restaurant that I know is not around, which was the Stone Brook, I think it was called, in Shahola. And that's actually now a slightly more casual Italian restaurant called Peter's now. That's kind of really out of my way, but, you know. So let's go. Let's move on here. Hawkstar5088 says, Hey, Necro, I'm enjoying the new season. I was wondering, you said you enjoyed making the list critics over the VMX show, so I'm wondering what is your favorite videos to make overall? List critics, requests, LPs, etc. Well, my favorite is probably the list critics, and I wish I could do it more often, but it's sort of a logistical thing that I don't do it more often, that it's only once a month. Just because it's just a lot of fun to do. The concept of it was based on something that I just thought would be fun, that it wasn't even like I thought people might like this. It was more like I want to do it. LPs is probably my second favorite. Believe it or not, my least favorite is probably request videos, but I do them anyway because people really enjoy them, and that's what I built the channel on. It's not that I don't like them, it's just my least favorite thing out of what I do. The Game Rage one says, Hey, Necro, have you listened to the band Manowar? They would probably have to be my favorite band. I've listened to Manowar. I think they're alright. I don't know why they would be your favorite band. I think you need to expand a little. They're good, but I don't know about that good. Spartan MK47 says, Hey, Necro, great show as always. I got 2 questions. Number 1, what do you prefer on cold weather, hot coffee or hot chocolate? I like hot chocolate, but I would say that I prefer coffee simply because I drink coffee all the time, and it's a very rare occasion where I choose to drink hot chocolate. Number 2, do you think with the advent of SteamOS and the Steam Box, it's actually called Steam Machines, will help indie games become more widespread? Thank you for your answers. Keep up the good work. Well, it could if Valve chooses to let that be the case. They're discontinuing their Greenlight service because it was an unmitigated disaster. And if I was doing the news, that would be one of the news stories that I would be doing. But I'm glad you brought it up because Greenlight was supposed to be this thing that was supposed to make it easier for indie games to get on Steam. It hasn't really made it easier. There's been less than 100 games that have been greenlit since, the 2 years since Greenlight came about. And the system is a mess. And I think that they realize that it's just a poor way of going about doing this, so they're scrapping it and hopefully moving on to something better. So, it could be. It's just like I said, it's all dependent on Valve. Tim Fife says, Hey, Necker, got one question. Got to listen to some of 331 E-Rock work Oh, some of his work. It is fucking sweet. Dude, you gotta learn punctuation. It's very difficult to read something when you just one long run-on sentences with like no commas or anything. If you was to do wow. If you was to do background music and intro music for the MX show, would you contact him and have him do? No, not really. I like my little ragtime theme in the beginning, and I mean I wouldn't do background music because that's just annoying. Intro music I already have, and I like that like little ragtime thing. I think it's funny. It's interesting. Kick-Ass 61311, what do you think about Star Wars 7 and Disney owning the rights to it? How do you think that's going to affect the movie? Well, okay, I'll tell you. You know how it's going to affect the movie? It's getting made. It wasn't going to get made otherwise. So there you have it. All right, moving on to Insane Wayne 253. This is what I'm talking about. And I see more comments by the same people. Try and be concise, people. Try and compile everything you want to say into one comment if you can. I mean, I understand you leave a comment and then maybe a few days later you think of something else, but people are leaving like 5-6 comments. Insane Wayne 253 says, in any of your past playthroughs, has there been a moment where you were thinking or just wanted to say, fuck this game, god damn it, Sean. God damn it, Sean. Fuck this bullshit. Yeah. Well, that's kind of what I did at I Want to Be the Guy, though. It was the 20th video, and that's where I was planning to end it anyway. But believe it or not, I was kind of having that with Super Mario RPG. Even though I love that game and I usually enjoy it, I was sick of it. Because that was back when... I should have done that LP that early. Because that was back when videos could only be 10 minutes long. And I couldn't do like 15, 20 minute... I always thought like 15 minutes would have been fine, you know. But YouTube had to be 10 minutes, you know, back in the day. Now it's unlimited, but... yeah... I had to do something like 70 videos or something like that to get through it, and I was getting very tired of it. And near the end, I was just like really ready for it to be over. Boss Predator Bob says, Yo, NecroVMX, I got some questions. Did you ever unlock all the cheats for Perfect Dark? What was the most frustrated level to unlock? I don't think I remember this shit. If I unlocked all the cheats or not. Really? I barely remember. I remember the game. I don't remember I mean, I probably unlocked a bunch. I don't remember if I did that. I don't use cheats anyway, so it's like, what's the point? Alright, but I'll read the rest of it. He says, for me, I did unlock all the cheats, and the level I went so apeshit with Skeetar Rune's Battle Shrine, and it was so fucking satisfying after completing that level for unlocking all the weapons. Stay metal. Well, I do believe that I had all the weapons, so there you go. The Amazing Ronnie Alley again. He says, last comment this week, I swear. I bought Kotal Episode 1. He's talking about Chronicles of Dark Lord. And I was wondering if I should do an LP blind or if I should beat it before doing the LP. Actually, I'm glad you asked me that because I would prefer you do it blind. We see lots of LPs, and the blind ones are more fun because we're getting people's first reactions to certain things in the games, and I think that that's a lot of fun. So I would really like if you did a blind LP if possible. I will watch any LP of it, but I enjoy the blind ones more. Elias Almeros Herrera says, Hello, NecroVMX. How are you doing? I'm doing fine. Other than this fucking buzzing in my ears, I'm doing great. What does it mean to PM you? Sorry if that's a stupid question. That is a stupid question. How do you not know what a PM is? Private message. Seriously. But I'd like to send you a critics list for February. What is it? Private message! Personal... I mean, how do you not know that? Come on, man. Seriously? It means send me a... Oh, my... Alright, I'm just going to move on. LaDon James has given me 6 questions. If you're going to do numbered questions, try to put line breaks in there. But here we go. Let's see. Number 1, do you and your family buy bottles of water or do you drink from the tap? Okay. Well, I'm fine with tap water as long as it's clean. And by clean, I mean it doesn't taste like chlorine or any sort of chemical or anything. And where I live currently, the tap water is fine. So I drink the tap water. As for my family, it's a mixture. Like, a lot of them drink tap water as well. My parents almost predominantly drink bottled water, but that's more of, has to do with, I think, their health issues. So there you go. Number 2, are you thinking of proposing to Julie soon? If so, will you post wedding videos like you did your sister? Well, the first part of your question, like, we're not planning on anything. And by that, I mean, we're not planning. You know what I mean? We know it's gonna happen. But the situation right now, as it is, we don't make plans like that. In the future, yes. Just right now, it's not that we need to bother with that kind of thing. As for a video, I mean, I would love to marry Julie, and I think that she feels the same way. And if she's listening, she probably is like, oh, you know. But we love each other, and we've been together for a long time now, and it's been great, and it's continuing to be great, and I think it'll be great in the future as well. And as for video of when that's dependent. I mean, I'm not, like, if you notice in the video of my sister's wedding, like, I wasn't holding the camera, obviously. It was just like I gave the camera to somebody and asked them to do it. Actually, that was really my sister's idea. That was because she was the one getting married. She wanted the video. That's just, I don't know. That's something that we'd have to discuss in that actual circumstance. So I don't know. I couldn't answer you on that, really. Number 3, how your dog's doing? Only one dog, and she's doing fine. Number 4, what would you say your worst habit is? Does anybody think that they have bad habits? I mean, I don't know. Answering questions like this. Number 5, what video game have you put the most hours into? Oh, that I can answer very easily. That would be Civilization 5. And hold on, let me bring up my Steam library for a moment here. I was just playing it this morning. Sid Meier's Civilization 5. You've played 643 hours. Yeah. And I've recently gotten to playing it more. Number 5, what video game... Oh, that was number 5. Number 6, you're stranded on an island, one woman, one food, one electronic activity. Who and what would they be? One woman is Julie. One food, pizza. Because pizza can have a lot of variety to it. And it's also my favorite food. One non-electronic activity. Sex. Moving on. App Store 1820 says, do you think... Oh, okay. I won't even normally read this question, but I have to read it because this is the dumbest fucking thing that I've ever seen posted on an episode of the VMX show. I'm not sure if this person is brain damaged or they're just trying to be funny or what, but this person asked the dumbest question I've ever gotten. So, in the future, when I'm doing like season 11 or whatever, and somebody asks me, hey, VMX, what's the dumbest question anybody ever asked you on VMX show? And I'll say, well, that's an interesting question. Go back to season 8, episode 4, and listen to the question by the App Store 1820. He says, do you think Nintendo can thrive off party games and stay out of the shooter genre? Because there's only 2 types of games, right? Idiot! Moving on. Slayer Darth posted more number of questions. Oh, wow. This would be annoying if these weren't good questions. Some more questions, though. Since you missed an episode, I'm not being over-representative, in my opinion. Yeah, that is true, so let's move on here. Number 11. You know how they have those Facebook personality tests, right? Specifically the ones where they see which character you resemble the most? Well, if you took one based on the characters from the Kotal series, what character do you think you would be? I think personally that you would be linked to Magus Lee because although you appear to be the banality of evil, you have a loving relationship, in my opinion, with Julie, similar to how Magus has a loving relationship with Galena in Kotal Episode 2. I would be Magus, simply because it's very easy to get into his head. He's not evil, though. You have to understand that. He's dark. dark is not evil, and that's sort of the point that Chronicles of Dark Lord makes. In the past, he was evil, but now he's just dark. That's why he follows the path of honorable darkness. Number 12. Since Julie is bisexual, if I'm not mistaken, then does that mean she's capable of viewing things from both a male and female perspective? Also, have you ever had a fantasy in which Julie was with another woman? There's really 2 questions, but I will answer them both. I'm going to answer your second question. I've never had a fantasy in which Julie was with another woman. Why would I fantasize about my girlfriend being with anybody else? It's just bizarre. And I know there are people who do that, you know what I mean? Like, you see that on, like, forums and shit, like, especially, like, in the more seedy parts of the internet. People are all like, oh, this is a picture of my girlfriend. I want to see her get nailed by some black guy. And it's like, why? Why do you want to see your girlfriend get nailed by anybody but you? It's just bizarre, you know what? That's strange to me. So, no, as for your first question is interesting because bisexual means you're attracted to both sexes. It doesn't mean that you represent both sexes. That's like if a guy is gay, that doesn't mean he views things from a female perspective. He's still a guy, you know? I actually want to use an example. George Takei. George Takei is gay as the day is long. It's okay to be Takei and all that. But he's a masculine dude. He's not like a woman at all. As a matter of fact, I remember on the Howard Stern show, and you probably remember this as well, when if you listen to that, I know S-Serpent will back me up on this. When he was getting married to his fiancée Brad, who's now his husband, people were calling in and talking to him on Howard Stern saying congratulations and all this shit. But then they would say like, who wears the dress or that kind of thing, and neither of us wears a dress. We're both men, you know. So, and he didn't refer to his husband as a bride or him as a bride. We're both grooms, you know. So, Julie is bisexual. It means that she finds women to be attractive. Does not mean that she comes from the male perspective. As a matter of fact, Julie is very much the female perspective. She's very girly. So there you go. Okay, number 13. Do you find that on average female writers for film or TV tend to be less critical of the opposite gender than male writers? My old English literature teacher specialized in feminist literature at university. Oh boy. And mentioned that there was a concept she was introduced to known as male gaze, in which men objectify the women. It's not a concept. It's a trope. It just means a guy looking at a woman because he thinks that she's hot. It's not necessarily objectification. It can lead to it, but I hate these feminist idiots. I'm all for equality, but they're just ridiculous. You know, feminism was great in the past when it was needed, but these days, I mean, come on, really? It's morphed into something monstrous, I think. But that being said, no, I find that female writers are not less critical of the opposite gender. As a matter of fact, if you look at the majority of TV and movies, women are usually portrayed these days as being smarter than men. We're always the doofuses, you know? Look at every sitcom ever where there's an argument between the husband and the wife, you know? Like, it's always that the husband is always wrong, and he's kind of an idiot, and the woman is very patient with him, and, you know, and sometimes she's a little bit wrong too, but the guy's always a little bit more wrong. Now, I don't think that this is all because of female writers, and I don't think it's all because of, some sort of evil agenda. I just think that people like it. You know, it's what works. So it's the first time you saw it, like, it kind of goes back to The Simpsons, because The Simpsons did the thing with the smart wife and the dumb guy that was married to her, and that's like a very successful show. So everything, you know, live action included, you know, apes off of that, and they try to do the same thing because it's ratings. Anyway, let's move on here. Number 14, which accent tends to make you laugh the most? I don't really laugh at accents, you know. Although I am part Italian myself, if I hear somebody that I think sounds like Mario, that would make me laugh. Almighty Santa says, I listened to one of last season's episodes in which you discussed people's opinions which you mentioned people insult based on their opinion. Oh, God. Then complain when someone insults them back. Personally, I find all over the internet, and I still don't. Why? Dude. Before you hit reply, before you, hit the button that commits your comment, could you, read it out loud to yourself? This goes for everybody. All right, so he's just talking about, people are like, I think this game rules. No, it sucks. Fuck you. I mean, what can I say? What can I really add to that, I'm going to move on. Jupe Reindeer says, Here, ActRaiser 3. What a fantastic franchise to revive. Mind if I ask 10 or so questions? Okay. Which has me pondering, theoretically, if you were hired to design said game, how would you approach it? I would probably do it handheld. I'd probably do it on the 3DS because I would call it ActRaiser 3D, and it would be the 3D perspective and everything. And I think that the stylus would work well for city building and that kind of thing. Would it be pushing the most modern concepts, a full 3D world for fighting in, or would it be more like the classic 2D side-scrolling stage? I would say 3D for the city building, and I think that the fighting, I would have a mixture of both. I would have some stages that are let's say Kid Icarus Uprising, and some stages that are more like the classic 2D side-scrolling. Would you opt for the original's approach of a slightly challenging combat approach, or like the sequel slide into ultra-cheap death challenge, or perhaps a better blend of challenge and strategy that the franchise could have evolved into? I think that it would be difficult, but I would go a little bit more RPG-based, where you would level up and stuff, and that way, if you are having a really difficult time with enemies, you might be able to grind up a bit. That's what I would do. Let's see. Would you keep the simulation half? I already answered that, really. Yes. And assuming that you would, is the simulation mode going to stay classic with a seemingly simple interface or with some deep hidden features, or would you offer a more modern sim life approach, or perhaps something totally different? I actually would kind of go more the populous route, where you would be shaping the land and things like that, because you're supposed to be playing as a god. So I would play it more as a god game than a SimCity kind of thing. And would you slip in some totally new notions, or just keep it blend of action and sim, or just complete action if the sim half was dropped? Now, of course, I would slip in some new stuff. I don't know what it would do, but you got to do something new all these years later. Any other concepts? Because to revisit this franchise is really interesting. Nothing that I really want to discuss. And my last question would be, if you release it for modern systems like PC or current consoles, would you require it to be a homebrewed game as a dedicated cartridge for Super NES? No, it would be a 3DS game. Why would I release a Super NES game? That's weird. All right, the Moogle Master. Okay, 3 questions for you. Number 1, do you think the trouble with the Wii U spells the end for Nintendo? You're an idiot if you think that! Let me read the rest of this. I've heard from a lot of people that Nintendo is in really big trouble and the Wii U might push them over the edge. No, that's idiotic. First of all, this isn't even that bad of a failure. And secondly, it's not even their first failure. Have you heard of the Virtual Boy? Seriously. No, they're not in as bad financial trouble as people want you to think, because there's a huge media bias against Nintendo right now. Have you heard of the 3DS? Seriously. They want to make money, all they got to do is release another Pokemon. Number 2, I know you're a big Elder Scrolls fan, so would you ever play Elder Scrolls Online? No, I would not. I don't play online games. I don't like MMOs. Number 3, speaking of Nintendo, do you think Nintendo should try to create some new games that could spawn new franchises instead of their constant milking of the Super Mario franchise? He's a Mario fan, but even some Nintendo fanboys are starting to complain. Everybody complains, but they buy the games. If the games started getting stale or bad, then that would be an issue. But everybody likes them, so fuck it. Oh yes, I could have totally gone into detail about that SpongeBob list on the last episode of List Critics because I do watch this show. I don't know what that has to do with anything. I'm going to move on. Okay, S-Serpent21 says, Hey Necro, thank you for having me on the show again. A while back you interviewed Tanya, and she said something about maybe having merchandising for the Kotal games. How close is that to happening? We're not really concentrating on that right now. We're really concentrating on getting episode 2 out, but we would like to have some sort of merchandising in the future. Thank you all and have a great day. Owen Roll is still a whore. That whore. Alright, and finally, Almighty Santa says, I meant to say, personally, I find this all over the internet. Well, I know what you meant to say. But, it's like I said, when you type something before you commit to putting it on the internet, read it out loud to yourself. Also, which is your least favorite type of YouTube user? Right now, it would be App Store 1820. Anyway, I do have a guest. The guy's name is Dan. His Blind Cat Studios on YouTube. Let's get to his guest segment now. He asked me some trivia questions. It was kind of fun. Let's do that. Okay, so here we have Dan on the show. Dan wants to give me some trivia and also just talk about stuff, I guess. How you doing, Dan?
Hey, how's it going?
So why don't we get to this? You said you called it a quiz.
Yeah, well, I didn't make it to
fun.
like try to like stump you, like, ooh,
Oh, well.
I'm so smart, I'm gonna like trick you. I just thought it'd be funny.
I thought it sounded like fun, so when you explained it to me the other day. So let's.
All right,
do
cool.
that.
I wrote all the questions so it'd be like a game show, you know, like.
Oh, all right. Name the strangest place you've ever made whoopee.
Oh,
That would be in the ass.
nice. All right, you ready?
Yep.
In the South Park episode, Scott Tenorman Must Die, Cartman tricks Scott into eating Mr. and Mrs. Tenorman chili, then gets his favorite band to insult him. What was the name of that band?
That was Radiohead.
Of course it was. Very good.
Okay, it's a Radiohead. Oh, come on, everybody. That kid is not cool at all.
He's so not cool.
He's going to cry all day. You cry, baby.
Awesome, sweet. All right, what are the nicknames of the four ghost enemies in the American release of the 1980s arcade classic Pac-Man?
It's Inky, Pinky, Blinky, and Clyde.
There you go. Are they different in the Japanese? I was looking it up and I was like,
Yeah, they're...
bonus points.
They're called, but they are different. As a matter of fact, in all the Pac-Man games, Clyde is always something different. Like in Ms. Pac-Man, it's Sue.
So
Junior
weird.
Pac-Man, it's Tim or some shit like that.
I was looking up something and it said like the working titles were like the Invader, the Dumb One, and like
Yeah,
whatever they were. I thought that was funny.
pretty much.
Anyway, all right.
Oh,
In the movie Clerks, Dante is unable to open up the shutters over the windows of the Quick Stop convenience store. Instead, he hangs a sheet over the window with this message written in shoe polish.
Yes, we are in fact open.
I assure you we're open.
Close enough. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, one of mine
And they
too.
still got people coming in there. Are you open?
So good. I love that one. All right. In the NES classic Metroid, after defeating the Mother Brain, Samus is given 999 seconds to escape. But in Super Metroid, you're given this amount of time.
Oh, I don't remember. It was a lot more time, it seemed like. Because the 999 seconds actually went by really fast. It's like 2 minutes or something. I don't remember.
3 minutes. Close.
Yeah, that's close. I never ran out of time, so
Yeah, me neither.
I ran out the timer in Metroid just to see what would happen, but I never thought to do that in Super Metroid.
Took me forever to beat Metroid on NES, though.
Oh, well.
I had a code book with all like the, write down your password, and then you
Oh.
knew, is this an O or a 0?
Oh, that was the worst.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that's in the past. Can you imagine how long passwords would be for like something like The Last of Us or something?
Oh my god, ungodly. They should at least not have the 0 and the O. You know what I mean?
Well,
like those two things.
No, I don't know. I assume it's probably a lot easier in Japanese,
You think?
and maybe it doesn't translate all that well. I don't know.
Well, didn't the Famicom one have a save system or something? Because it was on the disc or something?
Well, the disk system games did, but they still had... As a matter of fact, some of the games that we had... Here's a little trivia for you. Some of the games that we had that had saves, like Dragon Warrior, which is called Dragon Quest in Japan, had a password feature over there. And the passwords were all like poems.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like to learn something new every day, you know?
Yeah, I try.
Yeah. All right. In the Simpsons episode, Missionary Impossible, Homer narrowly escapes PBS by getting snuck on a plane. When Homer realizes he's headed for the South Pacific, he yells out this line.
I'm not a religious man, but if you're out there, save me, Superman!
Close. It was, save me, Jeebus.
Oh, I'm thinking of a different episode. Yeah, that's right, because in the plane he was saying, I don't even believe in Jeebus, and as soon as he's like falling out of the plane, save me, Jeebus!
Yeah.
Yeah, the Superman was a different episode.
I do remember that one, though.
Yeah.
That was when he was on the cherry picker, right? And he's like going reverse. And
Yes,
Yeah.
it was going towards the pier.
All right. Yeah. No. Wait. Is that when he like tries to take the balloons or something?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
is this gonna work? And then he like steals the balloons or something.
Yeah, of course it.
Anyway, all right. Metallica's 1984 album Ride the Lightning has 8 tracks, but only one is a one-word title. What is that song?
Oh man. Well, I'm thinking of the track "Ride the Lightning" and
Yeah,
"Fade to Black" and "For Whom the Bell Tolls" and oh man, I know it too. It's driving me crazy. Give me a.
Ooh.
Oh my god, Metallica. Oh god. Oh, that's tough. It's been a long time since I've listened to that. Oh my god, Metallica.
I figured I'd throw in one,
It's like, oh god, does it start? Give me a hint. Does it start with an I?
Starts with an E.
All right, I knew it was a vowel.
Yeah.
I gotta close my eyes and slowly think about. Is there a time limit on this?
No.
No.
I'll make annoying music until you think of it.
That might actually help.
That was like a robot. There you go.
Is it? I'm gonna be wrong on this, but is it Escape?
Escape.
Oh, I was right.
1,000 points to you.
Nice.
Nice.
This is right after Trapped Under Ice, right?
Yeah.
I was trying. Oh yeah, it's like out for my own, out to be free. That song.
Ooh,
Right?
you're gonna start singing. I was gonna say, I could sing for you.
No, I never sing on the show. I always never get to sing.
That's what I was gonna say when I.
Yeah.
Before I said I was gonna do the quiz, I was gonna be like,
Pretty sure
I
they wrote
really
that.
want to sing a song. Anyway.
All right.
In the Futurama episode, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the characters fall into anti-aging tar and find themselves younger. Upon realizing he is now 53 instead of 161, Professor Farnsworth exclaims sadly, he now needs a fake ID to do what?
I don't know. I never saw that one.
Buy ultra porn.
Ultra porn. Wow.
That's one of my favorite episodes.
I wonder what ultra porn is.
Yeah, I know.
Because I've seen regular porn. It's pretty good, but ultra porn sounds even better.
You got to be 161 to buy it. Oh, that's good.
Boy, I can't.
All right, I think you like
buy ultra porn.
Yeah, I can only imagine. In the Tenacious D song, City Hall, the band leads as 2 kings and instills 3 decrees, third of which is what? You might have to say.
If you would have asked me that like 5 years ago, I would have answered it in like 2 seconds. Now I've just forgotten.
What was decree number 1? Legalize marijuana.
Yeah.
Decree 2 was no more pollution. Number 3. Oh, you're gonna make me sing it?
Yeah. Because I'm drawing a blank. It was something really lame too.
Yeah. No more rich people and poor people. From now on, we will be all the same. I don't know. I gotta think about that one.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he didn't really have a third decree.
Yeah, he didn't.
Trying to make it up on the spot.
All right. Gotta get back in my game show.
At least it wasn't no fat chicks.
Yeah, that could have been one. I really liked the new album, the 39.
I haven't heard it yet.
Oh, you haven't? It's so funny. It's like
I
obviously
have,
about his.
The Pick of Destiny, and I have the one before that.
Yeah, there's a new one, and the song I'm talking about is obviously about his wife who like turned 39. So it's like a song about like, she's 39, but she still looks young, and like her titties are a little droopy, and like stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
But all right. Not fucking around. In the Aqua Teen Hunger Force episode Hand Banana, Frylock genetically engineers a dog for Meatwad with Make Your Own Dog 1.0 in Carl's pool.
Yep.
When Meatwad has trouble thinking of a name for his new dog, Shake offers the name Mr. Balls and this name.
Thunder Pussy.
There you go. Nice.
One of my favorite episodes.
That's one of mine. I'll never forget my
Ass Master 4000, twice as fast as your ass.
Something cute like Mr. Something. I wish I could do his voice. It's so great.
Yeah, nobody could really do Dana Snyder.
Yeah,
That's like his real voice too.
Yeah, it's bizarre. No, I never forget when I was in college and I put that on when I was into it, and my roommate watched it and he was like, "What the fuck is this?" And I was like, "It's
But
funny, huh?" He was
every
like,
time you see it the first time, it's what the fuck is this? But then you sit there and you start watching it, and you're like, this is...
"Yeah," and then he's like, "Well, put on another one." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, hooked."
That's how it...
Anyway, all right, all right. In the film Back to the Future, Marty McFly's band name is this.
Oh, I don't know.
This is a tough one. I
That
thought of
is
this
a
one and I
tough
was
one.
like,
No, I don't know. I was just thinking, as soon as you said Back to the Future, I'm like, this is going to be tough because I haven't seen it in so long.
but you know the part.
Yeah, I just don't know what... Just tell me. I don't know.
He's like, all right, we're the pinheads. And then they're like, "Meow, meow, meow," and they play their like
Yeah.
80s rock and roll. There you go. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah,
How
oh,
much you
that's
get?
it?
I wasn't even paying attention. I got 10.
Well,
I didn't know if you'd think it was funny, you know?
it was fun. I thought it was going to be all video game stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So you
I
kinda
wanted to do
got-
it all Simpsons quotes, because I love Simpsons quotes.
Save me, Superman. That's one of my favorite Simpsons lines. It's probably why I jumped to that instead of the Jeebus thing.
Yeah, yeah. You were just...
I'm not normally a religious man, but if you're out there, save me, Superman.
Oh, man. I could talk about Simpsons all day. I've seen, like, the new ones, though.
Well, I try to watch them whenever I can. I just don't have a whole lot of time, but I think they're just as funny.
Yeah. Well,
And you should check out the new...
10.
Well, Aqua Teen's still around.
Is it? No, well, is it considered the same show? It's now, like...
Oh, all they do
Aqua
is
Teen
every
something.
season they change the name of the show and the intro, but it's the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So for a while it was Aqua Unit Patrol Squad 1, and then it was Aqua something whatever, and now it's called Aqua TV Show.
Wow. Really.
But it's the same exact show. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, yeah. I was watching... Do you like Tim and Eric?
No.
No. All right.
Yeah.
They did a YouTube
Those
thing.
two guys annoy the hell out of me, actually.
Yeah. Well, that segues into, one of the topics I was going to talk about.
Oh my.
I was gonna talk about like opinions, because you definitely have, like, on your show you portray, or it's funny to have a opinion of, that sucks, this is great, you know what I mean, like a very like thing.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
I
much
think-
black and white when I say it.
Right.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of gray. I mean, obviously it's funnier to say something sucks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think that is attractive to the people who do your infamous "what do you think of this"
Oh boy.
comment, and I think
Yeah, like,
it's
have
really-
you played this, and if so, what...
right?
And it's always structured exactly the same, and it's like...
And I think it's interesting of what kind of person would say that, and it's like, I think it's either like the people who are like insecure, like they're like, hey, you seem to like really like know what's good and bad, and I like this thing. Do you like it? Because like I'd feel
think
better
what
about
is-
liking it if you liked it also.
I don't think it's that so much as I think they're hoping to catch me in one of those rants.
Oh, really?
You know what I
So
mean?
or the other is what I think is the do you like this? And then you like no, and then oh, you fucking suck.
Well, that's possible, too.
And that one of the things bugged me of just like, oh, you have a difference of opinion, like fuck you. It's like
That's YouTube in a nutshell. That's the internet in a
Yeah.
nutshell.
and it's just I don't know. I just feel like that's such I don't know. It just bugs me, and it just
sort of like
stems into different
It's
categories.
like, you know what?
of that.
I'm always so nice about it. Like, I'll say like a wrestling or whatever. I'll be like, wrestling fucking sucks. It's fucking stupid. But hey, somebody's got to like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you can see the appeal of different things. You know what I mean? Like you can
I
see.
could definitely see how large, oiled up men colliding would appeal to a certain demographic.
So yeah, just like certain people that like to watch it in little
I'm just
pauses.
not in that demographic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I certainly can see the appeal of it.
Certain people whose houses have wheels,
You know what it is when I say things like, kind of like half joking,
Yeah.
people take it seriously, and that's the funny part. Like
That
they
is-
say,
that is
wrestling fans are the worst people in the universe, and it's like,
But that's a like a stem of
like
like trolls who don't realize, you know, like people still don't realize that they're trolls, you know?
Yeah, exactly. See, when I say that, I honestly, of course I'm trolling when I say shit like that.
Yeah, and people don't get it.
And when they fall for it, it's like, oh, come on, really? I mean, I'm like laughing when I say it. I can't even like say it with a straight face.
Yeah.
I'm not a particularly good actor. So when I'm like, oh yeah, wrestling fans are scum of the universe, and I'm like snickering to myself, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, you won't believe what he said. And it's like, really?
No, link me to that video.
How could you take that seriously?
Yeah. But then there are people that do take it seriously, and they're like, like I'm sure you run into like the people that are like, oh man, I love like this band. Like I feel like it always happens with music. It's like, are you into this band? Like no.
Yeah, music like, is. I can understand that.
What the heck?
I can understand that because music is all about emotion, and if something like hits you a certain way.
Exactly.
It's not that you just like it. It's like it almost becomes like part of your life. And if somebody was like, well, they fucking suck, then that kind of like, it's like getting punched in the gut. And, you know, I also think that like when you get older, you kind of let that go a lot. And you're like, oh, well, you know, it's not for everybody, you know. And I'm like, if people don't like... See, like when I was like 21 years old, if somebody... like insulted like a band that was really important to me, I would probably been one of those guys like, well, fuck you anyway, you suck dick and all that. And now I'm just like, oh well, whatever, you know.
Well, like yeah, like you said, like people take it personally. Like a couple of my buddies, and you're always outnumbered when that happens. It's always like
it seems to be that way. Yeah.
For like my two friends were really into Incubus, and like I'm like, they're like, dude, you got to get an Incubus. They're like so good, and I'm just like. That like didn't hit me. I don't know. I just didn't get into them.
They have,
I mean?
like,
There's so much music everywhere
good,
that you
but,
can't
like,
get into everything.
Yeah,
And they just like, dude, like Incubus, and I'm like, seriously, Incubus? Like, I'm sorry, I wasn't into Incubus. My bad, dude. You know?
I had this one kid that I knew that wanted me to make a logo for his shitty band. And I forgot I think it was called like Incline or something, and then
oh my god, I love shitty band names.
I finished the logo, and then we changed the name, like, and it happened like a million times in a row.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, the original joke was, I said, well, what do you want it to look like? And he's like, well, it should look like how our music sounds. And I was like, what does your music sound like? And he named all these shitty influences. So I was like, so you want it to look like shit?
I love that, I bet.
You know. And then I after like the fourth or fifth time that he changed it, the name of it, and there was one where I told him, he came up with this name, and I was like, that has to be taken. That's so obvious of a band name. Somebody else already has to have that. He's like, no.
Oh, you don't remember the name?
I don't, unfortunately. I was like, it has to be taken. I think it might have been Incline. I was like, there has to be a band called Incline.
Incline? Yeah, there probably is.
And then he's like, no way, you know? And I'm like, yeah, definitely. And then like 2 weeks later, yeah, there's some other band with that name. We have to...
Well, it's funny.
And these kids are like 15 years old. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So
I love shitty band
I was
names,
like,
though.
I think his name was like Dave or something. And I made this thing where it was just like a white bar with black text, Times New Roman, that said Dave Shitty Band. And I said, this is going to be your logo if you change the fucking name one more time on me.
That's good. My friend really liked this one cover band, and how can you be into a cover band? Like just like a local band, and they broke up, and then they became like the singer was a girl and the guitarist was a guy, and they were going out, and they broke up, and then the girl wanted to make her own band or something. Oh. I don't know why they knew what was going on like in the band, but anyway, so the girl made the
probably why they were into a cover band, is they were probably friends with them or something.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Oh, the girl on Facebook or something, you know.
Yeah, probably. But the girl started a new band, and it was called Rock Candy, which is lame.
That's gotta be some other band already.
No. Yeah. So like they were like, oh, we're gonna be Rock Candy
is so obvious.
Yeah. It was a chick singer too, and then they they put it on Facebook and blah blah blah, and then they realized that some other local band had that name. So
another local band too.
Yeah, even a local band. So they said, oh, we have a show, we got to name ourselves something. So they said, oh, we're Candy Rock. I was like,
Candy Rock.
I wanted to throw up. I was like, that is the worst.
That's awful.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Dude, there's a jazz band called Rock Candy.
Like a legit band.
Yeah, but they're like a lounge band.
Oh, well, still. You can't name
Yeah.
yourself. You know, something
Yeah, about it. Oh, man. Because I just looked it up, and I'm like, Rock Candy... The rockcandyband.net is like a jazz band.
But how lame is...
Who haven't updated their site since 2012.
Oh, they must be rocking out.
Bunch of
Anyway,
shits.
another group of people that I find really funny with their opinions is and you have to have run into this, the loud person that the opinion that nobody asked for.
Yeah, that happens all the time. Actually, where like we have like a normal conversation and something will come up, and then that person will just start blurting out their opinion about it and how they think it's the worst thing ever, and it's like, well, nobody really asked you, you know. We're not even talking about that. It just came up, and they have like this canned speech that they have to yell every time.
Oh yeah, and you know they got that speech from like a documentary or something.
Or it's just or maybe it's something they came up with, but they memorized it and they go through the same points each time. Yeah, we heard that last time. We don't care.
Yeah. But one time I was at this party, and I only knew like one person at the party, so I was just talking to that one person, and I was kind of into beer at the time, and my friend and I were talking about beer, and I brought some beer that I never had before. I think it was Shock Top. It was like that orange, it had like, you know, orange zest in it or something. So I was like, this beer's kind of good. You know, I've never had it before, but it's kind of like orange, but it's good. And then from across the room, somebody yelled, like, Shock Top fucking sucks. And I was like,
well, you don't
what?
have to drink it, asshole.
And I turned around, and this shirt, like, just like a kid, and he's just like, yeah, you, like, pointing at me, just like, yeah, Shock Top sucks. And I was like, motherfucker, who asked you?
Yeah. Well, you don't have to drink it, you know?
And then he, like, had to have, like, a beeline towards me. And I'm just like, oh, God, now I gotta talk to him.
Now here comes the conversation that you don't want to have.
Yeah.
I actually have another
biggest
story
douche
like that.
From a different point of view. Like, the person who has, like, the safest opinions, too. Like, you want to, like...
Oh, like somebody who really wants to tell you about how they hate Justin Bieber?
Yeah, no,
and
but
it's
he's
like,
like...
congratulations, so does everybody else, you know?
Yeah, but he, like, oh, well, my favorite band's the Beatles. I'm like, ugh.
Well, good.
And you ever try to get into it, like, it with somebody who loves the Beatles? Like, nothing against them, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, music snobs are just like...
Yeah, well, I have a relative like that. But I'll tell you, we got to go, but I'll tell you a story real quick about something like that.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
My friend Andrew was driving around, and he was listening to, I don't know if you've ever heard of a band called Nevermore.
I think so, yeah.
Well, their singer, Warrell Dane, had a solo album out, which was really good. It was called Praises to the War Machine. And he was listening to it, and there was a cover song on there. And what Nevermore liked to do, and he took this with him when he made his solo album, was they like to take like 80s pop songs and turn them into metal.
Oh, cool.
Like just folk songs, like they did The Sounds of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel as a metal.
See, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm laughing just thinking about this. There's this song called Lucretia My Reflection by an old like 80s goth band called The Sisters of Mercy.
Nice.
Which they're all dudes, by the way. And it was way better than the original. But apparently any Sisters of Mercy fan, all these gothed out losers who hear this cover, they all hate it immediately because it's metal and like goth.
I like the original.
Goth is just another form of hippie, and hippies hate metal. So
as we know,
he's in his car listening to this, and it's on the CD, you know. And this guy comes up to him like it's in the middle of like a traffic jam, and the guy screeches up to him and does like the motion to like roll down the window.
Yeah.
They roll down the window, and he's like, "What?" And the guy's like, "Fuck you! That fucking cover sucks." And
did he have like black lipstick on?
I don't. He never described the guy to me, but of course he did exactly what I would have done. Is he blasted the volume
as you would, yeah,
and
definitely.
started the song over from the beginning. And of course it was a traffic jam. The guy had nowhere to go. And then when the song was over, he hit back to go back and make him listen. He made him listen to the song 2.5 times.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just to piss him off, you know.
Nice.
I did that once. I had this job where there was this annoying girl who sat next to me that only listened to country music.
Oh,
Which is fine, but she listened to like the shitty like Nashville.
No, yeah.
Like
I think there's good in all things,
yeah,
but like
she's like,
bad
oh, I hate Johnny Cash, that kind
Oh,
of
well,
shit,
fuck you.
Like, she only listened to like Leanne Rhymes and that kind of bullshit,
Yeah.
So anyway, like she was bitching about Arion because I played them occasionally, and I was like, oh well, now that I know that you hate it, I'm gonna play it all the time. And there were like times where I didn't even want to listen to Arion, but I would put it on just to get under her skin.
You just like turn the speaker towards her cubicle or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I used to do shit like that to people all the time, just to annoy them.
Well, you are a prankster, right?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
That was my backup topic to talk about pranks.
Definitely.
I have a really good prank, but I mean, we're already on time.
You know what? I will take the time, and I've told this on the show before, but I have to tell you the greatest prank I ever pulled.
Awesome.
Was that I convinced a girl on the internet that I was Frank Zappa, who's been dead since 1993.
Yeah, I remember the story.
Yeah. So I told her that I was Frank Zappa, and she believed me because she was stupid. And I had a friend who was in on it, and she was like flirting with him, which was funny.
It was over like AIM, right?
Yeah, it was on AIM, and
that's for her to fall for that. That's so.
Well, she was stupid.
Obvious, yeah.
She was stupid. That's why we were pranking her, because she was stupid.
That's funny.
And yeah, right at the moment where my friend tells her, like Frank Zapp is dead, I started talking like, oh, everybody thinks I'm dead, but I'll be back soon, and
so funny.
I've been doing this for thousands of years. I just release a couple albums, then I die, and I come back under a different name.
If there was only a way to like, if she had like a webcam to like view her face.
Oh my God, she got off the internet so fast. And from what my friend told me, my friend Andrew was the one who sicked me on her. He's like scared this chick away or something. And I'm like, what did she do? And he's like, oh, she's a nice person, but she's really annoying, and I just don't want to tell her to fuck off because then I'll be the asshole.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll be the asshole for you.
I'll be the arm up. I'll be the asshole. Nice.
Yeah. So then I did that, and according to him, she never ever came online, at least not under that screen name ever again. She was too scared to.
So that screen name was cursed.
I think she might have given up.
No, the ghost knows that name, so I can't go on that one anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's funny.
This like immortal like vampire guy out there that And I did say something to her like, "Don't tell anybody, or I'll get you." Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Then I said, "Not like anyone would believe you anyway."
I read something somewhere that Bill Murray went up to somebody in a.
They took a French fry off the.
Yeah.
That's like a meme. I don't even know.
I don't think that was
true.
Yeah. It just reminded me of it.
I could see him doing that.
Well, yeah, he's a good.
I could see him doing that. Because he does things like that.
I bet, yeah. If I
hear that story so many times that it probably happened to like one person once, and now everybody tells that story.
Right, yeah.
So who knows. But anyway, before we go, tell me about your channel. You do Let's Plays.
Yeah, I just do them, time to time.
Your Blind Cat Studio?
Started off games that I didn't beat as a kid, and I wanted to go back and play them.
So check out his channel. Check out Dave's channel. It's Blind Cat Studio. Oh no, Dan, not Dave. Dave's not here, man. Blind Cat Studio's got Let's Play Kirby 64, X vs. Sever. What else we got on here? Resident Evil for Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
Chameleon Twist I see on here. So check that out. We'll see you guys. Got to get to the news, so we'll let you go. We'll have to have you on again some other time.
Yeah, I got to tell you about my prank.
Oh, we'll definitely want to hear about that, maybe next season.
Yeah, cool.
All right, see you.
See ya.
So, big thanks to Dan, a.k.a. Blind Cat Studios. Check his channel out for coming by onto the show. If you want to be on the show, contact me on Skype. Name is NecroVMX. I don't have time for the news today, especially because of the guest segment and so many questions. The show's actually running kind of long. I said it would be a short one. It's a short one for me because the guest segment was pre-recorded, but like I said, I want to get to watching the big games. So, let's get to the video game charts. We're going to roll through this real quick. So, here we have the sales data for the week ending in January 18th. In Japan, the top-selling game was Kirby Triple Deluxe on the 3DS, which sold 82,288 copies. Puzzle and Dragon Z on the 3DS sold 43,132 copies. Pocket Monsters X and Y, that's Pokemon X and Y versions, on the 3DS sold 25,629 copies. The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds on the 3DS sold 18,548 copies. Yukai Watch on the 3DS sold 18,247 copies. Sentuchu Densetsu no Shinobi 2 Survival Battle on the 3DS sold 17,404 copies. The top 6 are all 3DS games. Oh my god, Nintendo's going out of business. Number 7, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster on PlayStation Vita sold 14,183 copies. The same game on PlayStation 3 sold 13,694 copies. Monster Hunter 4 on the 3DS sold 13,135 copies. And Wii Party U on the Wii U sold 11,281 copies. In Europe, the top seller was FIFA 14 on PlayStation 4 that sold 42,374 copies. Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 3 sold 33,429 copies. FIFA 14 on PlayStation 3 sold 32,389 copies. Pokemon X and Y versions on the 3DS sold 26,369 copies. Gran Turismo 6 on PlayStation 3 sold 25,614 copies. Mario Party Island Tour on 3DS sold 24,409 copies. Call of Duty Ghosts on PlayStation 4, 23,762 copies. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag for the PlayStation 4 sold 23,045 copies. Minecraft on the Xbox 360 sold 22,949 copies. And Killzone Shadowfall on PlayStation 4 sold 22,761 copies. In the United States, Call of Duty Ghosts for Xbox 360 was number 1 at 48,430 copies. Minecraft on the Xbox 360, 34,429 copies. Call of Duty Ghosts on PlayStation 3 sold 29,231 copies. Grand Theft Auto 5 on the Xbox 360, 27,903 copies. Pokemon X and Y versions on the 3DS, 24,434 copies. Grand Theft Auto 5 on the PlayStation 3, 23,300 copies. Call of Duty Ghosts on PlayStation 4, 21,386 copies. Same game, Xbox One, 21,256 copies. NBA 2K14 on the Xbox 360, 21,060 copies. And Battlefield 4 on the PlayStation 4, 19,103 copies. So globally, the big seller was Pokemon, followed by Kirby, Grand Theft Auto 5, then Call of Duty Ghosts, although that would probably be above everything else due to being on so many consoles. Minecraft, FIFA, that would probably be a little higher than Minecraft. That's on multiple platforms. Grand Theft Auto 5 is also a little higher than it would be. Everything's Call of Duty, FIFA, Minecraft, Pokemon, Kirby, you know. So there you have it. Alright, that being said, let's go to the consoles. Starting in Japan, the number 1 selling console, the 3DS, 48,080 of those sold. By the way, I don't have data for PlayStation 4, Xbox One from Japan yet still. So they're just not reporting it. The Vita at number 2 with 25,355 of those sold. The PlayStation 3, 13,136 of those sold. The Wii U, 11,307 sold. The PlayStation Portable, 3,945 sold. The Wii, 393 sold. 393 people in Japan didn't have a Wii? How is that even happening? Oh well. Xbox 360, 344 of those sold. In Europe, the top-selling console was the 3DS, 50,451 of those sold. PlayStation 4, 66,560 of those sold. PlayStation 3, 28,474 of those sold. Xbox One, 19,974 of those sold. Xbox 360, 15,374 of those sold. PlayStation Vita, 12,367 of those sold. The PlayStation Portable, 13,202 of those sold. The Wii U, 11,506 of those sold, and the Wii, 8,231 of those sold. And in North America, the top-selling console was PlayStation 4, 59,636 of those sold. Xbox One, 58,184 of those sold. 3DS, 43,304 of those sold. Xbox 360, 24,801 sold. The Wii U, 21,212 sold. The PlayStation 3, 16,944 sold. The Wii, 5,865 sold. The PlayStation Vita, 4,707 sold. And the PlayStation Portable, 1,640 sold. So, overall, globally, what does that add up to? The big winner is the 3DS. Very close second, PlayStation 4. Distant third, Xbox One. Then everything following rather quickly after that, we have PlayStation 3, Vita, Wii U, 360, PSP, and Wii. So, leave me your questions and comments. Like I said, if you want to be on the show, contact me on Skype. VMX, go Broncos. And yes, I know it's Broncos. That was an in-joke.